and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books, and I hope you're having a very, very lovely Sunday. I'm filming this on Sunday, editing it on Sunday, uploading it on Sunday. Today's video is entitled, Surely These Will Be 5-Star Books, because I've picked 5 books off my shelf, of which I am absolutely... The combination of things that is in them, or who has written them, surely leads to a recipe of them definitely being 5 stars. So I'm going to talk you through them now, thinking what I think is going to be 5 stars, why I think they're going to be 5 stars, and then the plan is to have had all 5 of these read by the end of the year. So keep an eye on my upcoming wrap-ups and things like that to see these feature. David's actually picking my TBR for August. We've done it so that David picks my TBR for August the past 2 years. So what I'll do is I'll ask him to pick a book from these 5 here that will go on the TBR, and then the rest of the one will go on the shelf. So yeah, keep an eye on the old wrap-ups to see what's going on. But let's talk through them. So the first one is this one, Sky Day by Leonie Ross. Now I bought this in Harbour Bookshop in Whitstable when I were celebrating Independent Bookshop Week, and I bought this, and look at this. It's gorgeous anyway, absolutely gorgeous, but this blurb sounds fantastic. And then since then I've been listening to the Graham Norton book club podcast, which is on Audible, and they mention this as a sort of like sci-fi otherworldly type book, which really intrigued me. So here it says dawn breaks across the archipelago of Poppyshow. First of all, love books set on islands, so there we go. We're that's 1 star already. The world is staring awake again, each resident with their own list of things to do. Number 2, love lists, so there's another star. A wedding feast to conjure and cook. Love food in books. There's your other star. A cheating husband to discover. A lost soul to set free. As the sun rises, 2 star-crossed lovers try to find their second chance at abiding love. When night falls, all have been given a gift and many are no longer the same. So here's the sort of like twist in it, is that everybody gets a sort of like a superpower. Some of them are really mundane and some of them are really extreme. That feels exciting to me. The sky is pink and some wonder if it will ever be blue again. I can't see me not enjoying this. Let's listen to they've got a little quote on the back from the book. She kicked out as seaweed entangled her ankle. A salty wave smacked her in the face and she gulped, spluttered, laughed, spat, sniffed and began to swim again. She might have been moving through perfume. This calm acceptance would leave her soon, she felt that. But could she hold on a while longer to this hope that everything was good? She took another face of brine and giggled under the darkening sky. It seemed outrageous to feel happy, but she was. I think this is going to be 5 stars. I mean, that's why it's in the video, but that's what I think. Next up is a collection of short stories. As you would have heard me when I was talking about this one, Sky Day, I mentioned that I love food in fiction. This is called What She's Having, Stories of Women and Food. This is published by Dear Damsels, and this is, look at this front cover as well. It's a beautiful picture, a photo of a woman eating a donut. And I mean, I don't feel like I really need to say much more apart from it's stories of women and food, things that I absolutely love in books, in reading. So yeah, I mean, that sounds I'm so excited about it. Here are some of the authors that feature: Evie Somerville, Hannah Lawrence, Saida Salma, Kate Young, Amy Feldman, Lucy Porter, Alice Slater. Love a bit of Alice Slater. Of Blood and Blooming Flowers is Alice's story. Life is Still by Sorcha Callista. And yeah, it just sounds like, I just can't see this not being a 5 star. The only thing that makes me think maybe it'll be a 5 star is that when it comes to anthologies, sometimes you don't love all the writing by all of the different authors in a collection. But these are all about women and food. I mean, how am I not gonna? Food is about so much more than just the first bite. What we eat can fill us up, satisfy our needs and leave us hungry for more. It connects us to our culture, defines our routines and flavours our fondest memories. Whole stories are made across a dinner table, and in What She's Having, 16 writers explore the complex and meaningful relationships that women have with food that we cook, eat and share. From an essay about elaborate meals for one, an ode to eating with your hands, a story about the love to be found in a plateful of pasta, to a tale exploring the darker side of what we crave, this is a collection that delves into food in all its form and celebrates each and every mouthful. Bringing together fiction, non-fiction and poetry, this collection of women's stories about food is something to savour. And savour it I will by the end of the year. Next up is a book that has been appearing on BookTube for as long as it's been hyped and excited to be coming out, and I bought this in a charity shop earlier this year, and that's Homegoing by Yard Jessie. I read, oh my god, what is the name of that book that's been shortlisted for the Women's Prize by Yard Jessie? I can't for the life of me remember what it's called, but I loved it. I really, really loved it earlier this year. That is awful that I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, on the basis of that, I loved that. And also that there has been so much hype and excitement surrounding this book. I believe Obama picked it for one of his best books of his year, the year that this came out. It's got a little quote by Zadie Smith on the front, an intelligent, beautiful and healing read. Here we go. There's another quote from Zadie Smith on the back. Homegoing is a novel I wish I could have read when I was a young woman. Here we go. Effia and Essie, two sisters, love books about sisters, with two very different destinies. One sold into slavery, one a slave trader's wife. The consequences of their fate reverberate through the generations that follow, from Gold Coast of Africa to the plantations of Mississippi, from the missionary schools of Ghana to the dive bars of Harlem. Spanning continents and generations, Yard Jessie has written a miraculous novel, an intense, heartbreaking story of one family, and through their lives, the story of America itself. I mean, surely that's going to be a 5-star as well. Surely. This is a book that I mentioned in my yellow books recently. I was talking about all the books that I've got off of my shelf that are yellow. Here they are. And I'll link that down below if you would like to go and look at it. This isn't a yellow book on the front, but it is a yellow book on the spine. And it's The Other Bennett Sister by Janice Hadlow. This is a proof copy. I believe the actual finished copy had this beautiful painting or drawing on the front of it. And this came out in January 2020, so last year. And this was on my TBR last year because I did something last year where which I dubbed Pride and Prejudice, where I read Pride and Prejudice and then lots of different adaptations of Pride and Prejudice. I had a lovely time doing it. The year before that I did June Eyre and did Jane Eyre and retellings of Jane Eyre, and then this year I did Little Women, where I read Little Women and books based on Little Women. Had less fun with it this year. The adaptations weren't as great as previous ones I've read. But anyway, this was on my TBR for June last year for Pride and Prejudice. And I don't know what I was put off by, because I've only heard good things about this. Jen loves it. She listens to the audiobook. She says it's fantastic. Whenever I've mentioned the book, I'm always flooded with like, oh, you're in for such a treat. That would be such a lovely thing to read. The audiobook, again, is fantastic. But I wonder if I've been put off by the size of it. Now, it is over 500 pages long, and I think maybe when it was June last year and I was reading the adaptations, I was thinking, oh well, if I read that I'm not going to get a chance to read much others, and then since then I've just sort of put it off. But I think I'm gonna fucking love this, because I really, really love Pride and Prejudice, and this feels like a different, it's a different take on Pride and Prejudice, because it's an adaptation, but it's Pride and Prejudice told from the point of view of Mary. We've heard Elizabeth Bennet's story in Pride and Prejudice. Now comes the witty and wonderfully immersive tale, I'm into an immersive tale, of the other Bennet sister, Mary. It will make you feel and cheer for Mary Bennet as you never have before. Mary is the middle of the 5 Bennet girls and the plainest of them all, an introvert in a family of extroverts with little in common with her siblings, yet away from her family perhaps there is hope and even chance of love for her after all. So yeah, I think this is going to be 5 stars as well. And then last up is a book that I bought earlier this year, and that's Monsters by Emerald Fennell. Now what drew me to this, Emerald Fennell I love anyway. She was in Call the Midwife. She played one of my favourite characters in Call the Midwife, Patsy. Amazing lesbian with bright red hair, fantastic midwife, fantastic at her job, and I just think Emerald Fennell's a really, really good actor. She was also in The Crown playing Camilla Parker Bowles, and then aside from her acting skills, she's also a fantastic writer and director. She wrote some of Killing Eve, the second series of Killing Eve, of which I've seen. This is weird, I was having this chat with my friends the other day, because I was saying everything I've seen of Killing Eve, and I saw like the first 6 episodes of the first series, I really, really enjoyed, but I just never watched any more, so I need to get back into watching that and pick that up, especially at the moment. David and I keep moaning we've got nothing to watch. And then also this year she wrote and directed Promising Young Woman, which is one of my favourite film of the year, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. So I knew she was also an author, and I remember this book, Monsters, being published by Hotkey Books when I first came to BookTube, because I remember a lot of people hauling it, a lot of people talking about it. It wasn't this front cover though, strangely. It was a front cover sort of like more Art Deco style, blues and stuff, of 2 young children on a beach with stones in front of them, and then those stones had a body in them, but you didn't see it to first look at, which is similar to this cover in that you first look at this and you can see it says Monsters and there's a cake, and you think, oh, that cake looks delicious, and then as you look closer, you see that there is an upturned, potentially, I imagine, dead crab here. And yeah, I just bought this off the back of thinking, well, I love everything about Emerald Fennell, every work she's done so far. Surely I will continue to love this. It's a YA book, very, very short here on the back with what happens. 2 children you would never want to meet. The beach, the sea, a body, then another. A girl, a boy, and a summer holiday unlike any other. And what I like about hotkey books is that they have a little key, because key, hotkey books, of what's inside it. And in it they've got beach, bodies, crime, and pot plants. So yeah, that feels quite exciting. So those are 5 books that surely are going to be 5 stars. Please do let me know if you've read any of these books, and if you think they are 5-star books for you, if you think I will think they're 5-star books. Would love to hear your opinions. And yeah, I'll see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Goodbye!